Hello, my name is Helen Turek. I work for the Open Government Partnership. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak with you during Finland's Open Government Week. It's a great pleasure to talk to you. I would give you a little bit of background to the Open Government Partnership first, for those of you who haven't heard of us. The Open Government Partnership is a multilateral initiative comprising of 75 participating countries and 15 local governments as well. So we work at both local and national level. And the aim of the initiative is to bring together a variety of stakeholders around open government issues. So governments come together with civil society organisations, citizens, also private sector, academia in certain cases, to develop a set of reforms that they deem to be important for the national context. So the reforms can range from things like open data, greater access to information, fighting corruption, things like asset disclosure as well, so greater government accountability, and also opening up participation, so opening up policy-making processes to citizens and really encouraging greater citizen engagement in governmental issues. And the way that these reforms are developed is through a national action plan, which is essentially a document that lays out the various reforms which are going to be undertaken over the course of a 2-year timeframe. Now, Finland joined the Open Government Partnership in 2012 and is in the process of developing its third national action plan. This plan focuses on important issues such as participation in decision-making processes. It also has a focus on access to information and also looks at opening up the ongoing regional reform processes that are taking place in Finland. Finland has also done a great job with ensuring that the process for developing this action plan has been open and inclusive and is really engaging citizens. And we would really encourage and underscore the importance of engaging citizens throughout the implementation phase of this action plan. So really looking to monitor, evaluate, and engage in course correction as necessary as these reforms are being implemented. I'd just like to note that Finland has done a really good job with engaging and being inclusive throughout the OGP process. And previous action plans have sought to strengthen inclusivity, bring in groups such as the youth and elderly into decision-making processes. And the programmes around engagement of these two groups, the youth and elderly, is something we've been speaking about at international level to demonstrate the importance of ensuring that different communities are involved with developing reforms with government and are engaged with policy-making processes. A number of these commitments that I've been speaking about, so participation, inclusivity, are really key to building trust in government. This is something we've been talking a lot about within OGP recently. We really feel that ensuring that by giving citizens the opportunity to shape policies that affect them can be extremely empowering and can go some way to addressing the trust deficit that we're seeing that has grown in recent years. So we would encourage you to continue working on issues related to participation and ensuring that groups are included in policy-making processes. We think that Finland, as well as the Nordics, are in an excellent position to work on these issues. So with the long history of openness and essentially a high level of trust in society, puts them in good standing to be leaders in this field. However, I want to also underscore that there's also always more to be done. And if you look at certain indexes, for example, the OECD's Better Life Index, and look at the specific indicator relating to participation in policy making, Finland ranks about 50th, which is just under the OECD average. So although there's been fantastic work that's been ongoing through Open Government and through the Open Government Partnership, we would always encourage you to look at what else can be done, what can be improved upon. And in doing so, I would encourage Finland to think about what we call the new frontiers of participation. And these may include certain processes such as deliberative democracy, which is where citizens really come together to debate complex issues, complex policies, really getting down into the nitty-gritty of details. So not providing sort of high-level feedback, but bringing together a sort of a representative group of individuals to get down into the very complex details related to policy. And we've seen this working very well in countries such as Canada and the UK, where there was something called the Citizens' Assembly on Brexit, where a representative group of individuals was selected across the UK to come together to come up with some policy proposals which were presented to Parliament. And this was a really interesting example of deliberative democracy, and taking up an issue which has been controversial and quite divisive in society in the UK. Other sort of frontiers of participation, which we call them, as direct citizen engagement. So really ensuring that you're reaching out to citizens directly to give them a voice and to give them a chance to shape policies that affect them. And an interesting way of doing this is through participatory budgeting, which is something we've seen with our local participants. For example, Paris and Madrid, who both participate in OGP, they have participatory budgeting policies where citizens can vote and shape how budgets are spent at the local level. And the final frontier of participation that we are talking about at the moment is inclusivity. So as I mentioned at the beginning, Finland has some very interesting programs around bringing youth and elderly into policy-making processes. But we would encourage you to also look at other groups who may normally, traditionally be left behind in policy-making processes. For example, minorities, migrants, and other groups. So that's all from me. I wish you very well with your discussions and the rest of Open Government Week. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak with you. I look forward to hearing how things shape up for the rest of the week. Thank you.